Okay, guys. Just before we start, I just want to do a quick voice balance check. So, I'm just gonna say some bullshit. Blah blah blah. Is that coming through? Can everyone say something just so we know everyone's on the same kind of level?
Does it sound okay this time, or is it still too loud? I think the last time it was a bit too loud at the beginning.
And this is my test. 1, 2, 3. Does this sound all right?
And this is me. I hope I sound okay as well. I have
You sound lovely. You sound wonderful.
I have the microphone right here. Now I'm going to be all intimate with it.
Oh, that's worrying.
listen to that ASMR right here.
Are you promoting an energy drink there, Sebastian?
No, I was going to do some carbonated drink ASMR for everybody.
Nice. I love how your mic glows like an eerie
I
red
do too.
Serial killer red kind of color.
I love it. Goes with the red.
Are we already live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay,
and
that's cool.
Guys in the chat are saying everyone's balanced, and sounding crisp.
Sean Connery, everybody sounding balanced.
Balanced. Nice and balanced.
Nice.
All right, brilliant. So, guys, Wavedash 4, thanks so much for coming, for spending the time. We have Sephi Black, we have the Main Man Suite, and Frame Whisperer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, sorry, I forgot in my mouth, but I'm gonna mumble a bit. It's a great honor to be back. I missed the last one, but having Sephi Black here is a big honor. I'm a huge fan, so this one's gonna be really interesting. But really happy to be back.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna quickly promote the Tech and World Tour here while I took some water. But
why do you have that?
Because we're in Bangkok.
Why not?
They just gave it to us for free. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah. Like I think from now on we're gonna try and have at least 4, maybe even. I'm gonna put a hard limit of maybe 6 people on this podcast. I don't know if that's gonna turn into complete chaos. If I need to get a gavel and but yeah, I think
very ambitious. 6 people.
We can give it a shot. But yeah, I think we're going for at least 4 people from that one. That'll be fun. All right. So I think one thing we wanted to all talk about today, and we were talking a little bit about this before we went live, is our friend Leroy. Our good friend.
To nobody's surprise. We come knocking on your door. Do you have time to talk about your Lord and Savior?
Pillar of balance, right? So it's been like just over 2 weeks that he came out. What was his official release day? Was it like it was the day after the TWT finals, so it was like the 9th that it came out?
10th, I think.
The 10th. Okay, so it's been like two and a half weeks basically, and I think for everyone it was abundantly clear just by messing around with him, even on day 1, that this character was at least very, very strong, and he's probably turned out to be a whole lot more than that. So let's refer to our PowerPoints.
Yes.
So professional.
Did you send it to me? Do I have it?
It's on the chat. If you just scroll up a bit, it's all there.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So Leroy, 2 weeks in, right? And this is a bit this is tailing off from last episode's discussion. So these moves are all crazy. I mean, 1+2, 14 frame hit confirmable Punisher, down forward 1 by itself is amazing, but it has safe extensions that go into a hermit stance. Demo Man, he has Horang's down 3-4. He has forward 3, which is just insane in so many ways. Forward 2-2, back 4, back 3, 1-1, back 1, back 1+2, down 1+2, forward 2-3, forward 3, 1+2. Like even it's kind of hard to list. It goes way beyond top 10 moves. All of these moves are like, in another character, they would be their key defining move, but it's like he has all of them.
Yep.
And they're all there.
Yep.
And he does 77 damage from an orbital, no execution. It's like, as you said, there's just so many dimensions to his brokenness that I'm a little bit worried. How do you even fix this? And I know that next patch, they seem to do this in iterations. So next patch, they will tone down a few moves. He will still be overpowered. And then I think in 12 months, he'll probably still be too strong. I don't know. I just don't think we'll see our change notes, you know, it's Leroy 30 times, you know.
I mean, do you think if they just
be a nuisance for a long time to come?
He's going to be. Sorry to interrupt. I mean, do you think he's going to be like, even if they shaved a few frames, like added a few frames, or you know, gave a few frames of recovery here and there? Do you think he's still going to be like top tier? I can see he's always going to be strong, but I think all he needs is a few frames shaved off on a few signature moves.
Oh, you think so?
I do think so.
It's like day one, it was quite obvious when you looked at the orbital down 1+2 that these moves individually are too much. You got to tone them down. But then you have a problem that he's so incredibly all round. I mean, just looking at his lows, by themselves, he has everything. He has a tracking hell sweep. He has Hwoarang's down 3-4. He has down 2-4, which is a great poke. He has a pole style sidestep free. You know, -12, +4 on hit. On counter hit gives, 49 damage with a 2-2. And that's just only the lows. Then you look at the mids. Then you look at the counter hit game, the punishment, the damage in combos, his parry. I don't know, just shaving off a few frames here and there. It's almost like, to me, they have to remove entire moves. But I don't know. That's me. I can't understand the character. And I just hate his balancing. It's right back to the worst examples of Tekken 6, where a character is incredibly efficient and very easy to play. You know,
talking about like Bob or...
It reminds me of Tekken 6 Bob. Vanilla. But even Bob needed a crouch dash, I guess.
Exactly. There's something you have to do. I'm going to say that I think the truth is somewhere in between. A lot of the moves are like way too good and the properties are crazy, but you could solve a lot of the problems with the frame data. If you change a lot of the frame data, because some of it is like, you can release a character that has a lot of good moves with crazy properties, but when you look at the numbers, that's when it becomes obvious that the design and the balancing is intentionally too good.
Right.
Because you can look at an analog of that move on another character and it's like, okay, Leroy is just categorically better if you look at the pure mathematics of it. And that's what has given me this little bit, I have a kind of an uneasy feeling in my stomach when it comes to this, because I feel like if they nerf him really hard now and bring him back, it's kind of like they sold people a lie a little bit. You know, they're like, we made this broken character, so you'll all buy him. And even Markman was tweeting about like it's good to release strong characters so everybody wants to buy and use them, right? And but if they don't, right? But if they don't nerf him hard enough, then they don't have to. They can pretend that they did this accidentally and that they don't agree that he's that broken. But then we all have to play against a broken version of Leroy for longer. So I also agree that there's no easy fix to the problem, really.
But I think if they are changing the frames, like if the orbital is more minus on block, for example, it shouldn't be -3. Like it's obvious that this is too strong. And the hitbox, maybe that they changed it as well. And the damage, like if they're reducing the damage, like two combos without walls are enough to kill someone.
Dead. Yeah.
This is too much. Nobody has...
What other character comes close in terms of damage if you take out Geese and Akuma with meter? Maybe Armor King, but with execution. But what other character gets 77 damage like that?
77 off an orbital. I can get 73 with Lars, but you do have to do like micro dashing and stuff.
Way too hard. Way too hard.
It's you can do some. You can actually reduce the execution dramatically by just holding forward and like micro walking and stuff. I've been experimenting in season 3, but 77, no.
Right. But I'm thinking it must have been intentional, I guess, as you said, having him super strong on release, as they know he's very hype. Casuals are going to want to play him. So let's give casuals a super strong character. We don't want any sour faces on the release weekend. Because they must have known he was OP, right?
Of course.
I mean, when you have that orbital, they know the frames, down 1+2, damage. It can't be an accident, right?
No.
And
They clearly know what they're doing.
So lackluster on release, like Negan, Lei, Armor King, Anna.
Yeah, but you remember in the first episode we did of this podcast, I mentioned that I had a feeling this would happen. Just looking at looking at the marketing choices that Namco have made in the past, so I don't think there's any question about it. It's obvious. Yeah.
But so Sephi, you feel that just reducing frames on orbital and a couple of other moves, and you feel the character would work, or would you want to reduce some range maybe and tracking on certain moves?
Ranges and tracking as well. For example, down 1+2 is the best example how good this move is compared to other moves. Like if you are Leroy on the right side and you're doing down 1+2, and the opponent is blocking it, the opponent can't step the second down 1+2. He needs to challenge the second one. It's like down 1+2, it's 0 and the opponent is on crouch. And he can do it again. And you can't sidewalk left. You need to block or challenge the opponent, and the range is so good, so you can't backdash it as well. So you need to challenge him or wait until he's not pressing down 1+2 anymore. So this is an example of a really strong move right now.
You can parry out of it. You can parry out of it if you're also playing Leroy.
Yeah. So everyone should play Leroy or what?
Apparently, yeah.
Basically.
My idea for the character was to make him a counter hit based character. So a lot of his strings are natural when I just feel that it doesn't make any sense. Like it's particularly stuff like his down forward 1-4. You know, it's mid goes into hermit and it's safe. Bizarrely enough, usually mid strings are at least -10 or -11 or something, which is another argument to say that they clearly made him slightly or perhaps more than slightly stronger than the other characters intentionally.
And down for the ones with extensions are usually -3. His is -1, and for some reason it has a super low vertical hitbox, long range, so that instead of dash jabs with Leroy, you do dash down for the ones and juggles. It hits extremely deep to catch Xiao Yu and others.
Eddie, for example.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
And Katarina had the exact same move. It's one of the reasons she's so oppressive when she's aggressive, because her down for one hits really low, has really good range, and it was -1 on block up until season 3. Then they nerfed it because it was too good, and they gave the exact same move to Leroy. So if that isn't like
because
obvious,
he needed it, dude.
But if that isn't like obvious favoritism, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe an exercise we can do now is let's take another look at that PowerPoint and go through each of these kind of crazy moves and suggest a change to it that might kind of normalize it. Let's go for like concrete solutions here. So let's just go through them individually one by one. So these moves are all crazy. And I even forgot to add the bloody orbital. Jeez. I'll just add it at the end. Okay. Okay. All right.
Did you? Oh, you forgot to add in up for 2 the long range plus on block mid with wall bounce.
Oh yeah. I also think you guys don't have forward 4-2-2 on your version. I mean, he just has so many moves.
4-4-2-2 is good.
You can go through his move list basically.
Yeah.
It's hard to I mean, how many moves are these? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. These are all incredible moves, and they would be in any other character's top, like defining move. Yeah, but he has all of them. Do you guys know Dural from Virtua Fighter?
No.
Like, so Dural is this like it's this boss character who's designed to have the best move from every other character, and Leroy legit feels like that.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
So let's
is
take
it Kage's mother who is silver?
Yeah, Kage's silver mother. Bit of an awkward family reunion there. Yeah, it is weird. They just dipped her in silver and like, here's your mom. But yeah, so let's take a look at these moves. And 1+2 first. I kind of feel if there's one move that should maybe define Leroy and maybe they can keep a little bit busted, it might be 1+2. because it's so
it's so
It's so-
Ip Man.
right.
Yeah, true.
Oh, the 14 frame, 59 damage, right?
Yeah,
56.
56,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
I mean, I guess with this you could reduce the damage a bit, or maybe you could even make the second hit like -12. You know, so it's not like safe count.
Yes.
Safe hit confirmable, safe
Okay.
hit confirmable into 1.
Or put in a skill element by making the second hit risky, like you said, and also make it very difficult to hit confirm. Right now, it's very easy to hit confirm, so there's no risk involved. You can just hit the brakes. But if you make it punishable and you make it so you actually have to worry about the hit confirm, then because that's another big thing with Leroy that we haven't talked about yet. Everybody wants to play him, and he's way too good. But he's also so easy that anybody who wants to play him can do it. So it's funny because last time we talked, Adrian, we talked about execution as a balancing measure, and we disagreed. I mean, you're a Mishima player, so you obviously are on the side where if something is difficult to do, it gets to be better. And I've been sort of critical of that, but then I saw Leroy and I started coming around to your way of thinking more because now we know what it would be like if Akuma was extremely easy to use in season 2, for example. It would be like this, you know, it's horrible.
Yeah, this is basically welcome back to Tekken 6 to me, and welcome back to Tag 2 with Bob, Lars, and then to some extent Capos, even though they were never broken, it was just a single move was completely broken. So it's just they've moved away from that, and now in Tekken 7 it's more about characters that are very difficult to use get somewhat more extra output, it seems like. That's what the balancing looks like to me. And Leroy just spits all over that. It's basically, I'm easier than everybody, and I hit harder than everybody, and I have everyone's tools. It's it must have been on purpose, I guess. But how do you nerf it? How do you nerf Leroy without removing moves? Like frames, certainly, range, but he will still have a homing back 4. That is fantastic. A tracking hell sweep. Down 1+2. Yeah, I guess you can nerf all of these moves, but I don't know. Yeah.
He's always going to.
Arya said we can go step by step through. These moves and
sorry, good point. Let's do that.
I think he's always going to be a strong character by virtue of how versatile he is. But what they need to try and focus to is not give him the best version of every character's move. Give him a slightly like a lesser version, and he makes up for it with his versatility. I mean, I guess you could say a similar, somewhat design philosophy to Jin. And I guess Jin's defining move is arguably his forward 4. But then again, Jin was pretty crazy in season 2 and still is one of the best characters. Characters like this are innately strong. And as you said, main man, he's always going to be a strong character. The focus is just to move him away from just being kind of busted to merely very strong. Right.
True. The problem with Jin, for example, is that he has got really good tools. Actually, almost everything, like a 14 frame while standing launcher, only -12. But then, if you see it in a more detailed way, his moves are not tracking well. He needs to dash in and move, so his moves are tracking. So even though he's got almost everything, his tools lack on range sometimes, except for forward 4, of course. But his other tools, like down forward 1, his jabs, are lack of range, lacking of range. So this is a good way or a good example how they can go in this direction, like how they change Jin in this way.
It's a very good example because he's steppable, but then at a certain range, they also gave him one of the fastest homing moves in the game, which means he has an optimal range because if he can work with you, he can keep you in range for the forward 4 and in range for the homing move to lock down your sideways movement. Now you have a game plan and, design, things are moving, there are weaknesses and they sort of hinge on the movement on both players. So even if that character is very good, I think there's like solid Tekken in there. Whereas with Leroy, you press your favorite colored button, you play Simon Says.
I find the hardest decision with Leroy is he has so many strong moves. It's sometimes hard to pick which move to use.
The hardest choice with Leroy is he has so many cool costumes.
He
Yeah,
does.
it's also cool.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he
all
looks
right.
sick anyway.
He's awesome. He's awesome. I mean, we talked a bit about this last week, but as from a pure design aesthetic perspective, he's such a breath of fresh air.
True.
So if there's any character that I don't mind him being slightly OP for the moment, at least until TWT starts up next year. He really has to be fixed before then. I think Evo Japan 2020 might be a bit awash with Leroy, but we'll see. All right.
The character's he's kind of ruined for me though. I was so ecstatic for him, so hyped. Then he drops, and I think by day 10, I was like, the character is poison now. Every time I see him in ranked battle, I'm just like, I really start disliking the game. And he's so cool. His design and his win intro poses, like he has so much charisma, and the animations are beautiful. But the way he is played, his gameplay has completely turned me off a character. I was so hoping for a dedicated specialist character in defense, and then he's just a complete mess, completely uninteresting. I don't know if he stays like this. It's probably the biggest letdown ever to me from a Tekken DLC character, I think.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
Are you guys? I mean, honestly, I haven't been able to play much online the past 2 weeks. So, I mean, Aria, Frame Whisperer, do you guys agree?
I played for the first week a lot, and because I was seeing so much Leroy and I was seeing all the problems. I said this in some of my videos. I actually stopped playing online, and I haven't touched it since we made the last episode because I refused to play.
Oh, really?
Okay. I'm gonna put you down in my camp then.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I don't play the game.
The problem for me was that it kind of turned me off the entire phenomenon of Tekken a little bit, because first of all, I mean, I was naive, but I was thinking, if he's that overpowered, maybe the community will actually stand up and say we don't want to do this, or we're not going to use him, but he's overused. And then the few opinions and comments that we've heard from the development side have been either nothing, or denying that he's overpowered, or saying that it's a good thing and might be good for the game or whatever, which it clearly isn't. I think it is by far the largest balanced disaster I've ever seen in any competitive video game I've played in my life. I haven't played that many, and I haven't been playing Tekken for that long, but I essentially consider online Tekken more or less an unplayable game mode right now. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to say, okay, I'm not going to play online until the nerfs drop. But I was also, again, naive enough to think that they were a week away.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, but there still haven't been any news. So what I did is I retreated into practice mode, and I've spent the last 2 weeks doing a lot of practice mode. I'm trying to get really good with Zafina, and I'm really enjoying that. But I'm sort of, I mean, I love the game, so I want to get back into it. So this week, probably tomorrow, I will start going back online. Hopefully hopefully all the Leroys are at Tekken God Prime now, and I don't have to see that many.
There's always another one popping up. Every time one gets mine, you have 5 others.
But I felt like, especially as soon as my back was against the wall against Leroy, because if I'm out in the open and I'm on a character like Zafina who has good movement, and I'm smurfing in ranks where I'm usually not at, then the fact that I can move around my opponent means that I can win anyway. But if I get my back against the wall, the homing moves like the back four, the fact that he can jump in out of nowhere with wall bounce moves, the fact that the low mix-ups for all his wall splatting mids are so oppressive, mean that I'm basically a refrigerator with my back against the wall, and I'm just waiting for the round 10. It only takes 3 seconds for the round 10, so But so yeah, I'm also I'm not happy about this at all. But starting tomorrow, I'm gonna try and New Year, fresh approach, and I'm gonna take a new character online and see what I can make happen.
No, I can only agree. I mean, I'm still playing the game, but yeah, every time I see Leroy, I get very, very frustrated with the whole situation. Yeah. He was gonna save us all, but he turns out to be Satan, I guess.
What about you, Sefi? I mean, you're so good. You're probably kicking Leroy ass all day.
I played Leroy also for 2 days, Yeah. So, and he's really easy to learn. So, okay, the first day was a bit difficult for me, but then the second day, I figured everything out with him, and it was way more easy to play with him in ranked, and so it wasn't a big deal. But for me, honestly, I feel like because there are so many Leroy players now online, and they are playing this character, I can learn the matchup properly. For example, when Negan came out, okay, there were a few players who used Negan. But after all, I couldn't learn how to play against Negan because there weren't that many Negan players. But if I want to be prepared for Leroy, I need experience. And how do I get it? Online, mostly, except for offline. So if I go online and see Leroy players, this means for me, I can learn the matchup. So I know how to deal with these moves. After all, I need to learn that. If I want to be successful in a tournament, or I don't know, in casuals or anywhere, I need to learn how to play against him. And it is actually really, even though it's annoying to see almost every time Leroy, it's really good experience to play against Leroy. So we learn how to play against him.
Right. I completely agree. That's a perfect attitude to have. I'd love to hear your game plan going into that match, but you're obviously a super talented and competent player. What I'm thinking of are the guys who are in like green ranks, yellow ranks, maybe Vanquisher, running into Leroy's and who don't have your spacing, or knowledge. And my God, that has to be annoying.
Yes, and what do you do? Do you go into the shop and buy him then, and you stoop to that level yourself? That's what Namco. That's what Namco hopes you will do, right?
You join them.
And but Sephi, your attitude is like perfect. And after I talked to you guys on the last episode, that's what I try to do. I worked on the matchup, and it got so much better. But so it's an extremely good point. But I think it's to a point with Leroy where if you just say if you don't try and make a statement, and say that something's really quite wrong and strange, then we have to live with this odd situation. So it's a weird balance of both.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this will. I hope this will change in 1 month. So it's still the Leroy hub after 2 weeks. I hope it will be gone. Or it will, less people will play Leroy in the future. It's just still 2 weeks only after he got released. So probably, or hopefully, we won't see many Leroy players in online, but probably more in tournaments like we've seen already.
I think Leroy is probably most detrimental to the game at a sort of intermediate to higher level. Because at lower levels, nobody... there's so much character knowledge you have to build up anyway. What's another character? And at the very highest level of play is where Sephi Black is coming from. But I think he kind of really narrows the gap between players like Sephi Black and maybe a player like me. He really draws us together, I feel. He creates that bridge between top-level players and sort of intermediate to high-level players who might have a solid understanding of Tekken, but might lack the experience or knowledge or whatever. Because Leroy, I feel like he kind of really, he plays himself to a degree. He has his just stuff like his forward 3. It's this huge, crazy homing tracking move, and you're right in their face, and he has a 12-frame mid counter hit launcher. I mean, it's that alone is so powerful, and why would you do anything else? Like his jab strings are incredible. He really kind of plays himself to a degree, and there's not much thought. You don't really have to think too much when you play him. And of course,
you can really spam launchers. I feel like when I play against Leroy players, they just want to launch mostly. Hobbiton 4422, like 4422 is just -13. Sometimes it even has a pushback, so you can't even punish him.
And people are ducking at the range where 4422 is good because they're trying to do the one thing they can do, which is duck the 443, the homing high. So they're eating that 4422 like cornflakes, even though it's punishable.
That was my favorite on release. Like the myth going around the community, like day 1, 2, 3, people said he has terrible range problems. But it's like his jab enormous range. His down forward 1, enormous range. Down 1+2. Back 4, huge range. Forward 3. Or forward 2, right? Yeah. It's like, no, he has no range problems at all.
Yeah.
I think go on. Sorry, it's just one thing I want to say. I think if he had one weakness, I mean, it's kind of tenuous, but maybe sidestep left. I mean, a lot of his moves are weak to sidestep left, but he has incredible homing moves as well.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And his down back 3 seems to basically track both ways as well. It's always risky
to walk. You can sidewalk right, and I tested it yesterday, 2 days, but also not reliable. It's not a good idea actually.
Yeah. And he has the benefit of above average movement and a small hitbox. A lot of my standard combos that I'm working on with Zafina, but some of my other characters don't work on him either. Really? So
yeah, I'm also dropping combos, and I'm like, let's give him that as well. Smallest male character.
Step orbital. Like you talked about intermediate level players, like people who at least they know about sidestep. If they play Leroy, honestly, get plus frames, step orbital. Get plus frames, step orbital. Yeah. It's a zero risk setup where as soon as your opponent makes a move or gets hit by something, you collect half his health bar and you're exposing yourself to zero risk. Get in, get plus frames, and if they block, step orbital. And it's just, there you go.
Right. So today I faced a Leroy. He did his 10 frame counter hit jab string. 1/1, 1+2, 1. Does 47 damage, completely hit confirmable.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do. He's doing 1/1, which is high mid, keeping me in check. And then he does 1/1, 1+2. And then I'm afraid of the ender.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to hit confirm. I'm not on Sephi's level at all, but I'm not a terrible player. And I'm just sitting there like, this is so easy and dumb, 47 damage. What does this look like when, for example, as we said before, an intermediate player is going up against a Leroy who's spamming that?
The fastest move in the game, essentially at 10 frames. I labbed that move, and what I found out what you want to do is the 1+2 part, the spammy part, is duckable. But if you try and stand up with a launcher because he's spamming, he tags you. Yeah, he tags you. So you have to wait for a specific window after the last hit. And even if he stops, you can still whiff punish with a while standing launcher. If he continues and does the ender, you can still squeeze it in. But what I found is if you can
actually go in between.
You can go in between. Yes, and I tried it with a 15 frame while standing launcher, and it worked. And I tried it with an 18 frame while standing launcher, and that also works, but it's really hard. So because the timing is so strict, right? And the risk is high. So if you are Gigas or Kazumi, where your while standing launcher is so much slower, then you're screwed. So the tip I give you, the thing I came up with is, I don't know what character you're using right now, but if you're ducking underneath spam stuff, if you have a powerful knockdown move from full crouch, for example, Safina's full crouch downward fade, you stay crouching the whole time, and you do like a sweep or something while he's spamming, and you don't stand up at all, and you at least knock him down and get stuff. So Miguel, for example, full crouch down forward 4 into guaranteed forward 2-1. You get 40 something, and it's not a full combo, but it's guaranteed, and you can't mess it up. So that's what I've been trying to do. But because the move is so fast, and if it counter hits, you eat it anyway. That's only going to help you some of the time. But it's what I found out when I was labbing it.
That's a very good idea. You gotta pray your character has something like that. I guess Kazuya can forward roll. It's a lot of crushing.
Yeah.
But please, Frame, can you please stream next time you play ranked so I can see your first opponent like a free bar Leroy? I'll grab my popcorn, and just.
I'll do this. I'll record it, and I'll put up a YouTube video of me watching it and talking about it as I'm playing. Because what you guys do, what I
commentary Frame live commentary.
I can't, but I can't. I suck ass. I can't talk in like Tekken. I've never done it before. Like I can't think about one thing when I'm playing Tekken.
Frame, let's do a Leroy versus Leroy first to 10. That'll be fun.
I'm down.
Let's do it. Just for the shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Sephi Black.
Oh, I was
he's
gone.
coming back.
Yeah. I can see you again.
Am I back?
Well, not your cam. Not your camera.
No, okay. Just a moment.
No worries. I'm just gonna pop up the PowerPoint for a second again. So actually, we've literally spent all this time. We've just gone through one move, which is 1+2, and we didn't even settle on a solution for this. I mean, I think with 1+2, it's like a signature move, and it should probably stay really strong. But I think if you had to do anything to it, maybe reduce a few points of damage and make the second hit like -12. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, at least -12.
Yeah. Would it be terrible if it didn't jail on block? He would still tag you if you try and while standing him.
Yeah, why not? Make it
something like that.
Then you have to hit confirm it, or you risk the duck.
I just don't know why it jails. It's so good either way, even if it doesn't jail. I don't know.
I'm wondering if would it be hard to punish with a while standing move because his fists are always like out there. Would it be hard to interrupt that stuff? I mean, I guess you could always use.
You can't. As soon as you press a button, you get a standing hitbox, and he pounds you in the face.
Yeah.
So it's like Frame said, you gotta wait for a 1 frame window to time your ball.
Yes.
It's great.
So 1+2, yeah. I mean, a few things could be onto that. How about his down forward 1? I mean, the most obvious thing is all down forward 1s that have a continuing string afterwards are -3, and it's really weird that his
block.
Yeah, -3 on block, and I think down forward 1/4 make it counter hit only.
Yeah. Natural, you mean?
Yeah, like down forward 1/4.
Blockable. Either that or make it punishable on block.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's the basic logic.
-12. I mean, Miguel's down forward 1/2.
Yeah.
Elisa's down forward 1/2.
-13. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could either turn it basically into like Jin's down forward 1/4 string from like Tekken 6, or you can turn it into like Miguel's down forward 1/2, which is unsafe on block.
-12.
Yeah, this is the basic logic for mid strings.
Right.
Yeah.
Because right now it's natural, and he gets +6 into Hermit, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a lot. For
and
Hermit,
it's safe on block. Safe on block at -9 as well.
Yeah.
Right.
This is stupid.
His while standing 1/4 is also the same, +6 on
But
hit.
Sephi, for example, it's like this. Imagine if Miguel, because Miguel has a safe mid down forward 3/2, really great range.
Yeah.
Imagine if that impacted at 13 and gave you +6 and Savage and was still safe on block. Yeah, it would be a very good character.
Yeah.
That alone would like push Miguel up the tier list, and it's just one move.
Yeah.
It would push Miguel. That's true.
So a few suggestions for down forward 1. The next move on the list is down back 3, his demo man or his hell sweep or whatever. I mean, this shouldn't track. This shouldn't track at all. This should be.
Definitely.
Yeah, it should or make it. I haven't tried it, but make it require a clean hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, because then if you're good at backdashing, you have a way out.
Yeah.
So
and it's 18 frames. I don't know. Make it 2 frames slower. It's the fastest hell sweep.
Semi-seeable offline kind of territory would be good.
It doesn't have to be seeable in my opinion, but maybe like Leo, 20 frames instead of 18. And the range is so great. Yeah, reduce the range. Yeah. And the tracking.
I just think
tracking should be no.
Yeah, just tracking and clean hits. I think those two alone, it would still be a really strong move, but you just have to, be a bit more smart on when you use it.
I mean, or in my opinion, he can keep that, but let's remove sidestep 4 poke or the down 2 poke. Why does he have everything? He can have one great sweep that's launch punishable, but he shouldn't have other amazing low pokes. It's like, if he just has one crazy thing, it's like, okay, we can deal with that. If I block that, he dies. His other lows are trash. But that's not the situation. He has every low you need.
Yeah.
So it's this thing where everything works in tandem, where it just becomes so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, even with all these nerfs, he's still going to be so strong. He's still going to be so strong. But let's try to chip away bit by bit. I mean, that's the only way we can, right?
So I mean, have we been clear enough? Because there 4 of us are here now, right? And we're saying all these things. The best Tekken players in the world who never talk tiers, by the way. Nee and JDCR and these guys, they never go out and like bitch about tiers. Really, it's rare. And like they're saying that the character is overpowered, and I play Tekken for a living, so I'm obviously going to main him in the next tournament.
Yeah,
it's like it's everybody, except people who specifically take paychecks from Namco. So I think
Lil Margin tweet saying the community isn't labbing enough. Use practice mode.
Well, I think that's Lil Margin being an inspiration and a great dad, and he's just like trying. But like Seffi to have a really good attitude. I mean, Majin is astronomically good player, but he's also like smart. He knows, but he's just trying to stay positive, I'm going to assume. Okay. I mean, didn't Speedkicks tweet like, it's not that bad? And then a couple of days later, he's like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah. Speedkicks, Shadow.
So it's like it's everybody. So Kokoma. If it's an interesting test, if the entire community at the same time cries out in agony for bloody murder, what happens? What are the consequences of the entire community communicating the same message at the same time? Does anything change? How fast does it happen? It's going to be. I'm watching this like a hawk because I really want to know.
Probably before TWT starts.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. I mean, when he first came out, I also thought, it can't be that bad to have a slightly overpowered character when it's off season. But it's really clear just from the reception from the community that he's really proving to be quite toxic, and people are not enjoying the game anymore, and that's what really matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The top level players, the pros, they will always figure it out. You can change the game, you can nerf good characters. The best players in the world, they know more about the game than the developers. They'll figure it out. You need to worry, like Adrian said, you need to worry about the people who buy the game with their fucking Christmas money or whatever, and are playing at home for fun.
Yeah, exactly. But interestingly, do the developers have to take us seriously? If you look back at Akuma, for 2.5 years, no one gives a shit. He's inconsistent, not very strong. Now doesn't really work. And then turns out he's number 1. He's the best character in the game, actually.
Yeah.
No. And for 2.5 years, doesn't really work. And then suddenly he's overpowered. Nerf him, please, Bandai Namco.
Yeah. They actually nerfed him really often in the Tekken 7 history.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the beginning, he was really strong.
When he first came out.
yeah, I see your
in Fated Retribution, when he was first unveiled, he was just on another planet, another galaxy.
Yeah.
It was just, what were they thinking?
Even a player who doesn't play Tekken came to top 3 in Evo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Punko, yeah.
Yeah.
Without even knowledge of the Tekken mechanism, he just managed to win or to place that high with Akuma, this shows how broken he was. And even now, people are complaining about him. I don't want to play against Akuma in this time.
I don't either, but that's the thing. If you go online, you're gonna run into a couple of Akuma players, and it's painful. But there are people who commit to that character. Anybody can play Leroy. I mean, 5 minutes in practice mode. 5 minutes. So
really easy to play.
I really started thinking about this whole execution thing because I feel like I was wrong. I was wrong about it this whole time. It really is important that the best character in the game and the easiest character in the game is not the same character.
I totally agree. Right, I totally agree.
Because this is what happens, right? And before I was like, no, why not? But okay, now I see why.
If anything, I think they should make that a bigger consideration when balancing the game. I think that you should try to make, easier characters approachable, but not quite as tournament viable or not quite as strong on a tier list. And I think with strong characters, it shouldn't just be about execution. It should be about difficulty on multiple levels. And that should be factored in to how strong that character is overall, or how their potential overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so let's just move on to the next crazy move. Down 3-2. I just think let's make this counter hit only, like with Josie's down 3-4. Like
right there with you, that counter hit only, definitely. And if you get a counter hit, great, and you react to it, you see the counter hit, now you know I have X amount of plus frames, I'm in my mix-up stance, now I can do stuff. Maybe I was actually setting up the counter hit somehow. So I was thinking about Tekken, you know, I was worrying about frame data, but now it's an unseen below, you can't react to it, so it's a guaranteed, extremely dangerous mix-up. And the advantage is also big enough that it's an unsteppable mix-up, which is a problem again, right? Okay, if you give him +4, +5, it's oppressive, but you can maybe walk out of it. But +8, you're pretty much locked down, right? So again, you have to parry it with Leroy.
Yeah, it feels like a Horong move when
it's definitely like Horong.
Yeah, but you know, Horong is you know, he has all kinds of weaknesses. When, you know, Leroy's Leroy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, down 3-2, count hit only. 4-4-3. Why is this a homing? Oh, sorry, you wanted to say something?
No. I just want to say that Horang's down 3-4 comes out at 17 frames. Leroy's comes out at 16. Leroy's does 4 damage more and has more range. It's like,
well, that's even better. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. All right. So next move, 4-4-3. I don't understand why this is a homing move. It doesn't even look like a homing move visually. It's just bizarre.
It feels like a move where it's one weakness because it's like a missile move, you know, Peacekeeper with a Horung or whatever. It's a bad example because that's the, you know what a good comparison to that is actually long range homing move, Elisa's 4-4-3 series, right? Which they recently nerfed, giving it a mid extension that is blockable, but making the second hit of the string duckable on reaction, right? The thing is, Leroy's is not duckable because it's only the one hit. And he still gets... Is the bicycle kicks the combo under completely guaranteed on hit? It is, right?
Yeah.
So it's a mini combo for similar damage. So, again, that's a great example of an analog move that is just a lot worse. The one way to fix it is, I mean, if you look at the animation, it feels like it should be super linear. And then you could walk. And you could also walk forward, and you can also walk forward 4-2 to the left, I think. So there you go.
And if it hits on tip range, is it +5 or 6?
Yeah,
you can get 6. You can get
too
6.
much plus on hit on block. On block.
Exactly.
You can get 6.
You could easily shave off like 3 frames on block. Like if it's a close range, make it like -2, -1, and at furthest, you know, the maximum plus you should be able to get on it is like +2, +3. So I think they were. Yeah.
Well, again, Elisa is -9 and duckable. Duckable and -9. There's unduckable and gets advantage. It's a completely different galaxy.
Yeah. And for free on a lot of characters, a lot of male characters, you can do a micro sidestep left to pick up with down for free 1
and get a combo.
Yeah. But interestingly, versus Sephi's character, Miguel and Dragonov, they have the longest legs in the game. You don't have to sidestep. You can immediately do down for 3-1.
Oh, really?
They're already huge and
that's a good matchup.
I did find it weird how small of a hurt box Leroy has. I expected him to be tall from the trailers, but when you see him, he's actually quite short. It was surprising.
Yeah, he's similar as Wang. Wang wasn't also that tall though.
All right. Next move. 4-4-2-2. I don't understand why this move has random weird phantom pushback. You know, like it can be a bit awkward to punish, and there should be a really clear, consistent, easy punish. Like, what is it on block? 4-4-2-2. -13. -13. Do you think they can make that like -14? Like make
at
it
least.
Or something?
It could be -29. It could be -6. It could be -16 and 5.
I want a key charge and down for 2 electric.
Just breaks his wrist on the second. Yeah. No, I -15 or 16. You shouldn't be throwing out this move. You shouldn't be throwing out this move. I mean, but you can, and it feels dumb when you get hit by it. But hey,
let's keep comparing these moves to moves of other characters. I think that's important. 4-4-2 from Leo. Exact same principle, right? but it's a one-hit knockdown mid. That is, I think, also -13. I don't remember exactly.
No, -10.
-10.
It's basically like Jin's forward 2.
Okay, sorry. I mean, so that's my bad. But it's not a normal hit launcher for Half-Life.
Right? Yeah.
But also the thing is, if you're doing a forward input, your moves are automatically tracking better. Yeah. So it gives you automatically a better realignment to the opponent. So it will hit. The probability it will hit is higher as compared to the hop kick, for example, or down forward 2.
Yeah, exactly. But isn't it a little bit like a Heihachi forward 2?
Yeah,
not the pushback, but
and not the hitting grounded.
I know what you mean.
That's very
like a huge YOLO mid. Yeah. I can see the analogy.
Faster.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. It's way faster though, so you can spam it against that.
Yeah, I always feel so dumb when I get hit by it. Yeah. Oh, it has high crush properties as well.
It doesn't have high.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, right. It doesn't. Yeah.
Like Heihachi's
one. Heihachi's. Yeah.
But wait. If you do it as fast as possible, is it 14 frames or is it 15?
It's 14. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
You can't do it 14 frames.
No, but I know that. But I know that moves with if the impact speed is listed as 14, and it's a forward input. Usually, the fastest you can get is 15. But I was under the impression that this was listed at 13, and which means that the fastest you should get. But I might be wrong there. But it probably is 15 optimal speed. Because this for the input of the forward to have any amount of computing space to register, there has to be at least 1 frame for it to register. I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, moves like this. Same with Julia's Party Crasher. Yeah, on paper they could be 15 frames, or in her case 12 frames, but usually they're like 16. In this case, must be 16, or realistically even 17 frames. Because we're humans, and
4-4-2-4 with Katarina. I never try to use it unless I know I have at least 16 frames, because I can maybe get it at 15, but it's also duckable, right? So
yeah.
Again, there you go. 4-4-2-4 from Katarina. Same principle, same impact speed. The combo does half the damage of Leroy's combo. It was nerfed, and it's duckable on reaction. Leroy's mid.
I would rather have Leroy's, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah. I think, as we were saying with 4-4-2-2, -15 at least, and no random phantom pushback. That's so irritating. That it.
It's really
okay, so next move, back 4. This is basically just Heihachi's back 4, just better.
Better range.
Yeah,
Nerf the range.
Yeah, a lot.
Easily.
Yeah. And he has such short legs, but he hits like 2 meters away. And Heihachi is huge. Nowhere near the range.
Yeah. There are analogs for that move that are fine. Down 4-3 from Leo. Shaheen has something similar. You can have a move like that, but it can't be, hitting from half screen.
No one hits that far.
No.
And then you get clipped. Oh, what is it? Plus 11 on hit? Or?
Enough. Yeah. Way too much.
Even the tippy toes have a hitbox. It's bizarre, nerf the range dramatically. Maybe even add a frame or 2. Make it a bit slower, I guess.
I clipped you while you were airborne. Oh, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's like.
All right. So that's back 4. Back 3. This is another great move. It's a really strong whiff punisher from a backdash, especially.
Sure.
I mean, I think. Do you think you should do, anything should be done to this move, or
maybe a bit slower? It's like 18 frame fast.
Sorry, which one is back 3? I can't remember.
It's the high kick launcher.
Yeah, natural high launcher.
I love that.
Does easily 70 something damage.
Yes.
Combos.
When you hit with it, you do it twice for the combo, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe reduce the tracking. It's
does
not
it track well?
Super tracking, but I think it tracks okay both sides.
Yeah. I feel the range should be nerfed and the damage maybe. So the combo
I think the move is very good, but it's one move that I think the move's great, but it's one move that if you look at all the other things, that's one that I would be kind of sort of fine with him keeping.
Yeah.
because I think it's honestly, when I tried it out for the first time, I liked that it was sort of interesting because it has a lot of properties in a small kind of concise package, and the long range whiff punish are good for, I think it's 19th impact.
18, I think.
Yeah,
18,
so those really good pushback moves that usually end up at -17 on block, you can't really use it to block punish. So, I mean, I agree that it's really good, but that's one that I'd be fine with him keeping asses if other stuff gets weaker.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what about his 1/1 string? I mean, how do you maybe I mean, how this move needs to. I mean, other characters have moves like this, like Dragunov's 1/2/1. Of course, it's pretty similar in principle, but this does. I think a great damage reduction is necessary.
How unsafe is 1/1 by itself? Do you know?
Yeah, it just shouldn't be hit confirmable, because if you do down 1+2, they're forced into crouch on block in neutral. Great frame trap, do 1/1, but if it's you have to commit to it, you have to put yourself at -16, 17 at the end. Yeah. It should not be hit confirmable. That's just so overpowered. I can't believe it's in the game.
Yeah, I could believe a string like that existing at
you get 47 damage
impact,
and a wall splat.
Yeah. I mean, if it impacted at 12, I could see it being fairer. The fact that it's 10, is just insane. But then again, exactly. You would have to shuffle his one jab around from not being 10 frames to impact anymore. So it's a giant workaround to make that happen. So I don't know.
Speaking of, you know how his 2/1/2/1 string has like a parry after the first two hits? Like he goes into like an auto parry stance, which is just insane. It makes it a really strong approach move because you can just do 2/1, and if they try to whiff punish you, he just parries. Or just finish the string.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's
out of curiosity, can anyone here mention a 10-frame counter hit string for big damage that's hit confirmable outside of Leroy?
I mean, you can counter hit Dragunov's 1/2/1, can't you?
Yeah, Dragunov 1/2/1, for example, but it's -9 if the first one is got blocked.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Leroy's 1/1 is like -9. I don't think that way.
And there are moves
Lee
like
2/2/3.
Yeah.
There are a handful. Like
if you play 2D characters, you can do the 1/1 jab shenanigans into hit confirm counter hit into the DP2, right, for Lisa and stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Julia's 1/1/1 as well. Lars now has 1/1/1 as well. He can.
Exactly.
But you have to commit to that, right?
You have to do what you can do 1/1, and then if you see,
you can do that. Okay.
The confirms are like really tight and difficult to do. There's not that. That's the other thing. There's not this huge window where the character's doing this for 5 minutes. Think about the hit confirm. You have to
There seems to be different opinions in the community in what hit confirmable means. Like some people feel that Brian's quarter circle back to 4 is hit confirmable. I can't do it. So I don't know. Dragunov's 1/1. I don't know if I would be able to hit confirm that. But Leroy's 1/1/1+2 is the very definition of hit confirmable. Anyone can do it. Yeah. You have half a year to do it.
I think Brian's quarter circle back 2/4 is whiff confirmable, in that you have enough time to register if the opponent has whiff. If you do the move and you see a whiff, you have enough time to register to finish the move. But that's not quite the same as hit confirmable, which is straight up seeing if the move connects on hit or block and then finishing the string.
But some people feel it is. So I'm a bit torn on hit confirmable moves in the community.
I don't agree. I think moves like Brian's quarter circle back 2/4 are whiff confirmable. Same with Steve's forward 1+2/2 string. Those are whiff confirmable, but not hit confirmable.
Yeah. There's a difference between hit and whiff confirmable. But some moves are easier hit confirmable, like the Leroy's are counter confirmable, like that 1/1 by Leroy, but 1/1 by Dragunov, you have a visual effect if 1/2 hits the opponent, or you see from the attack from the opponent if you can continue or not. If you don't see any move from the opponent and do 1/2, you usually don't go for the first one, but you can see if the opponent attack or not, and then continue the third one.
So a player like Mihawk, he does 1/1 counter hit confirm.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. It depends. It's not easy though for Dragunov players. So you need to practice it. Definitely. It's not an easy.
Okay.
You need to tap the 1 somewhere in between the 1 and the 2. So it's quite tight. You know, you have just like maybe like, I don't know, like 16, 17 frames to register and see, oh, okay, it's blocked or it's an orange spark or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe one could add something like that to Leroy's 1-1. Would be great, where you have a small window and not a full second to.
Yeah, the window is too big right now. That's true.
Yeah, it's too big.
Do it smaller.
Could you maybe speed up the animation speed of his Ip Man moves where he's doing that spam? I mean, you could just turn up the
machine gun, like brrr.
Exactly, and just make it go even faster. I mean, that might look even cooler, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But then it would be better on whiff, you know, when you duck it. Your window there to do that while standing punish.
Right. You'd have to like take out one of the hits and then make it faster, and that is more work than they will ever put in. So yeah.
Just this move. It's like if there's any move that needs to be kind of reconfigured, it's probably this one. I mean, I guess it'll stay a signature move. I think like they should try to make Leroy a counter hit based character. So he has all this crazy shit, but he really needs to set up his damage a bit more like maybe Steve or Brian or Oscar or some other counter hit based character.
Yeah, so like I guess best parry, best counter hits, fine, but you can also have the best orbital then, because now you're in a different camp, right?
The thing is, counter hit based characters shouldn't be able to make you sweat with like huge hell sweeps. Like Steve doesn't have a hell sweep. Oscar doesn't have a hell sweep. Yeah. I mean, that's a part of what a counter hit based character is. Is that
also Brian is, for example, a countered character. Like all his tools are countered launchers, but he doesn't have a hell sweep like that.
Yeah.
So he should be more like that. And also his poking tools like down for 2 or something like that are not that great if you compare from the tracking. So or his useful tools are slow or not tracking well.
Yeah.
So maybe they should go in this direction.
Out of the whole Leroy package, the thing that stands out to me as being just the weirdest are his lows, because I feel like he should be designed as a defensive, like sets up his damage kind of counter hit based character, but he has these huge, you know, damaging lows that just take off chunks. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. Think about Kazumi, for example. Kazumi, I wouldn't call her counter hit based, just a couple of really good and impressive counter hits. But she's a character where it's very obvious that it's supposed to be like death by 1,000 cuts, you know. Step poke, step down forward 1, you know, the jab string, the standing 4. And her combo damage is really quite low. It's seen some mucking about with in season 3, but like even still, if you hop kick somebody with Kazumi, you'll get like 56, 57, which was bad in season 1. In season 3, it's like it's not even full combo damage, right?
Yeah.
So again, if you're going like in a direction with the character where you want him to be very counter hit based, or you want him to be, you know, good at this thing or that thing, I think looking at the overall damage input could be a good idea too, because a character like Kazumi doesn't derive all of her damage from combos, but she's good at other things, so it still works out.
No.
Yeah, but it's like his high damage and combo ender post bound down to delay 4. Was that on purpose? You know,
you never know. I mean,
down to delayed force was so strong, and 60 frame fast. It's really fast, high crushing.
Yeah. It's 15
You see
frames
so many
though.
Koreans using them. 15 frames?
15 frames.
And the crazy thing about it as well is, I don't know if you've tried it, but you can't, if you react to it and try and block the second hit on normal hit, which you can do, you can't block it by pressing down. You have to hold down back to block it specifically. And I know a lot of Tekken players, especially new players, don't know that there's a difference there because it's very specific and rare. So if you don't know that you need to hold specifically down back to block it on reaction, it's natural.
Yeah. And -11 on block second hit.
Yeah, should be at least -13, you know?
Yeah. At least. Yeah.
So what do they do about that? Down to 4. Not delayable, maybe?
Not delayable, slower.
Its combo utility is so dumb.
More unsafe.
Yeah. I don't know. There are a couple of. I mean, Anna does something similar. She's crap overall, so it's fine. I don't know.
I would do it like 20 or 20 frames, something like that. For example, Kazumi's down back 2 is also really slow compared to other moves. Or Miguel's down 3 is 21 frames slow. And it does some.
Yeah. But you use that for the high crush and the range. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know,
it's
guys.
A really good low.
I don't know. They have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even halfway through this list, but it's like already we've suggested some pretty far-reaching changes for Leroy, and we're not even halfway through. And even with all these changes, he's still undoubtedly be strong, very strong. Back one, I mean, 11 frames, auto combo,
increase the recovery.
Yeah,
increase the recovery. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Back 1+2. I mean, this is insane. It's like a 12 frame mid count hit launch. I mean, the range.
You're so fooled in practice mode when the dummy is not doing anything. When it's not doing anything, you're so fooled into thinking, oh, but it has no range. But no. When it clips a hitbox of someone attacking. It's incredible. Incredible. And -5 on block.
Yeah. The whiff recovery is pretty good as well, right? You can just kind of.
Oh yeah.
You can just kind of.
I think they should nerf the whiff recovery. It's too good. Like
whiff recovery is something people don't talk about enough with moves. I mean, that's one of the things that really frustrates me about both Horong and Brian, because the Marn's leg, the armored kick, and the orbital, respectively, you maneuver around them masterfully with movement, but you're not fast enough because they're so fast to recover on whiff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, like especially with counter hit moves, you can't just go into training mode and see, well, this move has terrible range and throw it in the bin. I mean, it's the same principle with Steve's back one, because that move generally tends to hit extended hurt boxes most of the time. If you go into training mode, you might think, oh, this move doesn't have great range. Well, this is overrated. But the reason why Steve's back one is so good is because of the whiff recovery. It's so hard to punish, and it's a similar concept here. Even if they've nerfed it a bunch of times in Tekken, for every Tekken game they've nerfed his back one, it's still really good. And similar principle. With counter hit based moves, you have to consider that this is going to hit an extended hurt box, so you have to consider the whiff recovery.
Right.
Definitely.
Back 1+2 is just another move that they have to do something with. I guess nuke the whiff recovery.
Yeah,
hopefully enough.
You could give it 4 frames.
JDCR used it in the JDCR used it really well in the OGN tournament. He uses this really dumb mix-up with Leroy. Down back 1 free, down back 1+2. So it's again, it's mid into either a high or a mid, and they're both safe on block. Your only way of punishing is ducking the free in down back 1 free. But we're so afraid of a 1+2 that is safe that JDCR throws out all the time. So what he does is, this is the JDCR Leroy. He does down back 1 free, they block it. And that recovers so quickly that when he does back 1+2 afterwards, I think it trades very often.
That's something I'd even add to the PowerPoint. His down back 1 string. It's preposterous. Yeah. Like, why is the mid one safe? Why is it safe? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit along with the other moves in the game. All mid strings are either only combo on counter hits or they're unsafe.
He has two variations of that.
One thing I want to say quickly here, because I know like a lot of people are playing this character right now. Maybe people are watching this as well. If he does get nerfed or something happens or whatever, or you decide to go back to another character again, it's going to be like waking up with the worst hangover you've ever had. Because all of a sudden you have to worry about movement and frame data and combos and execution and all of a sudden it's gonna be like overwhelming because you've been driving a stick and now all of a sudden you have to drive manual again. And that's something
maybe you'll run into a Leroy, and be on the opposite end, and then
exactly.
you stop playing the game.
and then it's a rude awakening. But when you talked about JDCR, thinking about like if the nerfs come and he has to go back to one of his other characters in tournaments, is that going to be like a rough experience? Because you're going from something that is so straightforward, and his usual characters like Armor King and Heihachi, you have to think and worry a lot about all that stuff. Yeah, so it's all of a sudden you like when you play Leroy, it's almost like you get to deactivate a part of your brain, and the Tekken becomes a lot more, play with one hand and whatever
for like 2 months, and then going back to Armor King or Heihachi, it's like.
Just wanted to say that to people who might be playing him right now. Just be prepared for that, and if you're not prepared for that, maybe don't try him in the first place.
Yeah.
You can try him out, I think, as long as he's OP, and then enjoy the time. Yeah. And then hopefully he will get nerfed, and then you're like, okay, I had a good time with you. Thanks. Let's play with my normal character again. Let's play normal Tekken.
Yeah.
I mean, Sephi Black talking about his view on women.
Now I can play Armor King
again. I mean, to sort of sum up Leroy, I mean, his whole move list needs like a looking at, and I think I do think just by changing the numbers, he could be balanced, but there have to be some pretty far-reaching changes. Like stuff like his orbital has to go from -3 to -9, for example, like Brian's one. His back 1+2. I mean, it's all just about making everything a little bit slower to recover. Really, he's far too safe. He's far too damaging. Making a few things counter hit only. I mean, I think he's obviously designed to be an easy to play yet versatile character, which is fine. I'm a little disappointed because I thought when you first saw the trailer, you thought he'd be this intricate, cool character with a bunch of stances. He's not. He's not like Lei or anything. Certainly not.
I thought he would be advanced because like it's this super technical kung fu, and like pulling off good parries in high level matches is not hard. Is hard. It's hard. So it's like, if he's gonna have like parries, then maybe you have to really know your frame data. But he's not advanced at all. This character is ground level in execution.
Yeah, like a deep dive into the numbers, like just.
But so what happened when they were designing his gameplay? Was it a case of like, oh, he's so hype, we don't know what to do. Should he specialize in this? Oh, we can't make up our minds. Give him everything so no one is disappointed. Is that what happened? Or?
Yes. No, not. I don't. I mean, I'm cynical and I'm not a very good person. So I think it's similar to that, but it's not so that nobody's disappointed, because I don't think they're worried about people's feelings. I think it's so that everybody buys him.
Oh,
yes, and doesn't refund him. Can you? This is because I don't play on Steam. If you buy the DLC on Steam, can you refund it after having played him for a while?
2 hours.
I don't think so.
But I'm not sure with games you have 2 hours. Like you can play. If it's less than 2 hours, you can refund it. I'm not sure if that applies to DLC as well.
So the funniest thing they could have done is release the nerf patch after 2 hours. That would have been the funniest.
You can't refund DLC apparently, and it has to be within 2 weeks. I think it's they know what they're doing, and it's clear to see that he was obviously overtuned, to put it politely. The reasons as to why, we can only guess. To generate hype, to generate sales, just to have a talking point, a discussion. We've been talking about him for an hour and a half. Mission accomplished, right? So
hopefully we're not advertising him. I think the big when we will know is when they release in the spring, when they release Fukmakuch or whatever his name is, because because he's super hype. He's hype enough that Tasty Steve suplexed fucking Rip into the floor and like broke his jaw. So he's super hyped too, and people are really excited about him. And if the same thing happens, and even more interestingly, if they want to keep on power creeping, theoretically, he should be better than Leroy on release.
I think he's going to come out in the middle of the TWT, right? 2020, I imagine. Is he? Yeah. So I don't think
spring.
Spring or not in spring.
Tekken World Tour starts in April. I know.
Right. It's going to be around that time. I think he's going to be balanced. I think he's going to be closer to what we saw with like Negan or Noctis, characters released in the middle of the tour. I mean, it's clear that they let themselves go a bit nuts with Leroy because we're on off season right now.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. Exactly.
And looking at, I mean, you did a bit of an analysis on the Fakum Rum trailer, main man. He looks like he has lots of like kind of moves which you can charge up and create tons of frame advantage. He kind of reminds me of, I get another Virtua Fighter character, Jean Cujo, who does exactly that. You can do like a fast version of a move, which is like -9, or you can charge it up and get like +6 or whatever. And
but I love that his name Jean, and he's so obviously inspired by Jin.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, he has the demon's paw.
Yes, he does.
And
exactly.
can like a lot of Jin's moves actually.
Yeah, he does traditional karate like Kyokushin karate. So he's totally based on Jin, and they called, you know, he is a kind of a homage, I guess, to a Tekken character.
He's a cool character, and it's just too bad that Virtua Fighter died because so much brilliance.
You know, I mean, Harada was recently asking, do you want to see Street Fighter cross Tekken? And I mean, there are lots of divided opinions, but one thing I know I'd love to see is a Tekken cross Virtua Fighter, even just to bring that franchise back. I mean, it's like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. They were the rivals back in the day, you know. Back in
Virtua Fighter is awesome. I really liked it.
Yeah,
it's amazing. But I think that if you name your game Tekken X Virtua Fighter, it just doesn't sell. No one knows what Virtua Fighter is except for a couple of hardcores. That's why you want to go Tekken X Smash. Certainly might not be the best game, but the name is
X Smash. And that's when you get Negan from The Walking Dead playing against. I mean, okay, quick. I'll give you 5 seconds. Name a character who isn't in Smash.
Isn't?
Yes.
This is actually quite difficult.
Yeah, you all lose because they're all in.
Well, I mean, there's no Tekken character yet. But I mean, Heihachi was in that Sony one, wasn't he? Like the Sony
PlayStation All Stars.
PlayStation All Stars. Yeah.
But the guest characters in Smash are also kind of scuffed ass characters from franchises that are hurting overall. I mean, Tekken is the best fighting game right now. They don't need to They don't need to put their characters in other games. But you know, Fire Emblem and stuff.
I think I think I'd love to see a Tekken character in Smash because I think it would boost the Tekken community. I mean, never underestimate how huge the Smash scene is. It eclipses the Tekken scene.
It's a really big fighting.
I've said this before, but I played a lot of Melee back in the day. It was it was like my main game for a couple of years. So I love the Smash games, but then I got into fighting games later in life. So I've always kept them sort of separated in my head, kind of. And I know that's unfair because they have a scene and you know, they love their game and everything else. And I'm not going to say anything bad about that, but I don't think there's a lot of overlap between Smash and Tekken the way there might be between Smash and Virtua Fighter or Soul Calibur. Tekken X Soul Calibur would be dope.
Right.
I mean, I mean, when it comes to Virtua Fighter, I think the most we'll see is like a guest character, and even that would be generous. I mean, I doubt it. You know, I mean, Dead or Alive basically has Virtua Fighter characters in it now. I mean, Dead or Alive 5 had a bunch of them. I don't think Dead or Alive 6 has any. Maybe the license ran out or something. It was cool seeing them in that. I'm not a huge Dead or Alive fan. I think it's a bit underrated system-wise, but it just the scene has never been there, and it's you know, it's really hard to find a game sometimes for that.
Can I bring up a topic? I just thought about this, but I really wanted to ask Sephi and Adrian about Gonryu, if we're going to get back to Tekken.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking this week, because I'm preparing for doing like a little instructional video on him, and I feel like he's seriously good as far as I can tell. Like, I think he's seriously good. I mean, like one of the higher tiered characters in the game, possibly. And I just think it's interesting how people might be complaining about him if it wasn't for Leroy. Do you agree that he's strong, and do you think he's a good example of how you can release a strong character that isn't busted? I know, Adrian, I've watched your videos where you played against King J. It's really enjoyable.
Although very enjoyable for me. Super annoying. No, but I don't know a whole lot of Ganryu, so I'm gonna leave this one to Sephi. But he seems to have, like in Tag 2, incredible rush down, incredible poking. And as you, Sephi, you play Miguel, you must be quite jealous of Ganryu's down forward 3.
Oh,
That's
his best move.
It's a bit like
this is his
Savage down back 3. But Ganryu does it not from a stance. He just down forward, and they flip over, and it's like plus. I don't know how much.
Plus five,
and the opponent is crouched.
Yeah, and Miguel Savage down back 3 doesn't do that anymore. I think
play Ganryu instead.
Does Ganryu's? I haven't checked that. Does Ganryu's down for 3 hit grounded?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes.
It's stupid good then. Yeah.
Yeah, it is really good, but it has its weakness, which is the bad range.
Yeah.
So the range is really bad of down forward 3. It's only useful on close range, but he's got a new low, which is not a new low, but they added a new effect into it. Down 4 is 18 frame fast and has better range than down forward 3, and is a countered launcher.
Okay,
it's a countered launcher.
Yeah, it's like Jin's old down back 4 to launch.
I've seen the move, but I didn't know it was a counter hit launcher.
How do you pick up? You do that? You wash the plates?
That's it's like really good. No, it's back to 1. It's like back to you pick up with back to 1.
That's another cool thing. You used to have to like crouch cancel that really tight to do combos with it, but now they just added a spin move to the string, right?
True.
Yeah.
You can use the spin, but he's got a new stance, and from that he's got this screw.
Tachi, right?
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I think Ganryu's game plan didn't change that much, but he's got new buffed moves. Like his stance is good, which he hadn't before. His down 4 is a countered launch, which he hadn't before. But his overall gameplay, like his down forward 1, down forward 2 extensions, down forward 3, with punishment 4 for 1+2, sorry, is a normal hit launcher, high 14 frame fast, perfect input.
Yeah,
tracks really well. This stays the same, but he's not overpowered. He's still strong, but he still has his weaknesses, like no 10 frame jab. His jabs are 12 frame fast, but +3.
Yeah.
And his headbutt is 10 frame fast. Wall split, -13.
Yeah. It seems like the general idea with Ganryu is that his strengths have been consolidated, but he still keeps his weaknesses as well. So
exactly.
So his jab is 12 frames and his sidestep's not so great. So you can kind of suffocate him and shut him down before he can get going. So fast poking characters give him a rough time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I have had a lot of success with stepping him as well.
Yeah, he has not that great
range.
homings. Yes, like his up-4-2 is it's okay. It's nothing special. Otherwise, his down-4-2 is really good. Like his 60 frame launcher, only -11.
Yeah,
he launches from crouch, has decent range, and if you want to whiff punish him, he can extend with 1-2. And if you want to duck the 1-2, you can duck it, but he can extend it as well. So he can mix it up, which is really cool, and still gets a combo out of it, which is really nice. So he has some mind games with the down 4-2 as well. Yeah, and his wall bounce, of course, is 45 damage, safe.
Well, does it down 4-2? Remind me, does it launch crouchers? It does, right?
Yes.
Which is insane, right? So that basically means, because I think one of the reasons, like a lot of down 4-2s that are safe on block, like Elisa, ones like that, don't launch crouchers, is because you're not supposed to be able to use them as part of a mix-up with a low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
imagine falls down for 2 launching crouch.
Exactly. Right. So, but in the case
11.
of Gonryu, you sacrifice like 1 frame of impact speed. You put it at 16, which is still as fast as like Elisa, but you're minus 11 on not that big, and you get to use it for a mix-up. I think that makes it low risk enough that you can just throw it out, and because your lows are so good, it's just going to connect a lot of the time.
Yes, it connects a lot. It's a huge difference between minus 11 and minus 12. For example, if you play against Asuka, she can only do a 4 as a punish.
Yeah.
Not 2-3, which would be a 12 frame punish. This is a big difference. Yeah. Like in some matchups, it's really important to have something like that. And it's really good for Genro.
Yeah, Zafina again. Zafina, what, 1 or 1-4, but you don't get a real punish until 13, really.
Minus 11 is kind of rare when it comes to block punishment. Usually the big numbers are like minus 12. Like a lot of moves are minus 12. So yeah, minus 11 is very unconventional when it comes down to block punishment. And so many characters are under-equipped for that.
Yeah,
so,
true. Miguel has 2-1.
And I love that.
Yeah, back 1-2 back because it's so good against that.
So
Wall splats. Like, this is really good.
But do you all agree then that Gonryu seems to be a really strong character who isn't overpowered?
He's not overpowered because he needs to work for his damage. He needs to do something. Like, okay, maybe his down for 2 is really good, but you need to be on close range to build pressure with down for 3, for example. And if you're on close range, then it's kind of obvious what your plan is. Like you build chip damage with lows. Yeah. Then he needs to work with it. So it's not that easy with Genry, I feel like.
He has
compared to Leroy.
Yeah, he has to set up his damage, really. I mean, it has to be part of a game plan. Leroy can just kind of do stuff, and it works.
The reason I brought it up is that makes it interesting that they were released together, because you have a good example of like how to do it, and then you have an example of how definitely not to do it in the same patch.
But
he had.
Yeah. As we said last time, Gonryu is a legacy character. He's been around for literally decades. So I can cut the developers a bit of slack here, but it's also clear that Leroy was intentionally designed to be super, super strong. As we said before many times.
But I gotta tell you guys again about how depressed I am about Leroy, and it's about what you said, Arya, in that you would have wanted to see a maybe defense. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you wanted him to specialize in something like parries or defense. Yeah. And we're never, ever going to have that. Leroy will never be a character that has a very defined strength that goes right through his move list.
I agree.
You'll always have a character that does everything, but they will tone down the frames.
Right.
And that's what I hate about the character. That great look should have come together with a very well-defined fighting style, but instead it's like it's a Tekken character that does everything. It's so dull.
Yes, great point.
And as I said, I was so surprised to see this character has a great mix-up game and great lows, because I did not imagine him to be like that. Usually characters who are focused on parries and counters and defensive play, which he has in abundance, don't have that shit. And as you said, he'll just end up being, at the moment, he's jack of all trades, master of all. In the future, he might be jack of all trades, master of some. I mean, whatever.
Basically.
That's the best you can hope for. I mean, in Tekken 8 or whatever next version of the game, he's definitely going to be in it with how much like success he's seen, popularity-wise. That's the big opportunity to maybe work it all over and see if you can take it in some sort of direction. But for the rest of Tekken 7, like you said, he's either going to be like, it's this level bar, and now it's this high. It's like overpowered good. And you can put it, lower or higher, but there's never going to be any like peaks and valleys in terms of strength. It's just complete package, and you adjust it using the numbers. And it's like you said, it's kind of boring, honestly.
Yeah. I just know that to me, he will probably never ever be interesting. It takes that they have a vision. He's going to do this precise thing, and all of our efforts go towards that. But when you go into his move list, it's like, orbital, 50-50, super punishment, super strings, stances. Okay, you never had a clear idea of what he was going to do. He was never supposed to be unique or original, only in his looks.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's just such a letdown when it comes to his character gameplay design.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Having said that, let's look at all the new characters that came in from Tekken 6 and Tekken 7, and they all came in either overpowered or underpowered or anemic or lacking in some way. Like, look at Shaheen in 7.0. They clearly had no idea what to do with this character, so let's give him a bunch of generic moves and a really stupid 4-1. And Bob's your uncle, you know. But now Shaheen is fairly interesting, I think. Now Shaheen is kind of...
was also overpowered in the first iteration of the game, I think, largely because of combo damage, and that was unintentional because his while standing 3-string was hitting guaranteed when it shouldn't have. I don't remember because it's so long ago, but he was like the best
combo, and then post bound he does his cartwheel, and then he gets guaranteed while standing free. Exactly. And if you're at the wall, it's the double kick while standing free, and it did like half-life. So
it's ridiculous.
So it's there was a problem, but it's him being overpowered then is nowhere near. I think the only other character that has been like at the level of a problem that Leroy's been is Season 2 Akuma, maybe. But nobody played it because nobody could, because nobody's that good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt that Leroy will get balanced and will fit in with the rest of the roster. It's just, you know, as you said, main man, it's just a bit disappointing that he doesn't have a more defined play style. That's the biggest disappointment, really. And I think when I first played him, I did think he was quite fun, but now 2 weeks in, I'd rather play someone else. To be honest, I think I'm going to go back to Steve. Yeah.
Like, just seeing the trailers, I loved the guy, but then you play him and you never thought you dislike him, but here we are.
Yeah, he's cornflakes without the milk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Best description of this scenario.
All right, let's hop on to the next topic we want to talk about, which is because we spent all this time talking about Leroy, so let's just push him aside. I mean, how are you guys doing for time, by the way? Because we've already been at this for like nearly 2 hours. So how much more time do you guys have?
I have nowhere to be, so I'll stay for as long as you want me.
Okay.
I've got 1.5 hours.
Okay. Let's.
I'm the only one with a problem here. I have 17 minutes before my girlfriend pretty much shoots me through the door. So yeah, I will have to leave. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
You should have the 24 watch. Dink, dink. It goes down, you know.
All right. Well, I think maybe let's leave some of these topics for next time then. And I think a good one to talk about for next time is this keeping the momentum for the Tekken scene topic. Because I think we're currently kind of, just to go over it briefly, we're currently kind of in a golden age for competitive Tekken, and I'm worried we're in a bubble, and I don't know if this is going to last. And I think the only way it's going to last, just to briefly summarize my thoughts, is if the players get paid properly. You know, I think there needs to be a stronger infrastructure for players, for top players, to get into Tekken and get paid and have a livelihood through Tekken. And
right.
You know, how do you feel about that, Sefi? I mean, you compete a lot. Do you think that there's enough money in the competitive scene? I mean, locally in Europe, but also globally.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now, it doesn't feel like it's so competitive that you can live just from Tekken. If you're not a streamer or not doing something else, you can't just earn enough money just from playing Tekken. It's too expensive to travel through all these countries and get money from that. And the money's not that high if you think about that. If you are traveling to tournaments, maybe to some challenger events, you mostly get €1,000 maximum as a first place. For out of 100, 200 players, it's really low if you don't do it like that. Or if you're just top 8, sometimes you don't get something from top 8, reaching top 8. You're just getting from top 3. So it's not that worth it to see it to try to live just from Tekken. Right now, not really.
Just looking at Rangchu, who won Tekken World Tour 2018 and won $7,500, and just looking at went to in 2018, you're like, that all that traveling must have eaten up that prize money.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, fighting games will always be like about the passion of it, but there has to be a middle ground between, you know, MOBAs where players are millionaires and fighting games where you barely have enough to scrape by, even if you win every single tournament. There has to be a healthy middle ground here, right? And we're not there currently.
Yeah, but there are not so many players who are, or people who are playing this game. So this is another problem compared to our mobile games. Like,
for sure. The numbers are completely different. Yeah. Maybe let's address this in more detail next time. Hopefully, I think because Main Man, you said you have like 15 minutes before you got to bounce. Let's just quickly talk about our plans for 2020. I mean, we're literally the decade is nearly upon us, and so guys. What you guys got in mind, like, you know, personally, professionally, in all kinds of ways?
You want to start, Frame?
Sure. I mean, my thing ever since I got to Japan is that I've tried not to have a plan. But I'm 30 years old now, so that's starting to get a bit scary. You know, I never know if I'm going to stay here.
I'm gonna die.
No, but it's like, you know, I have no plan, but that also means that there's no castle that I'm building. There's no, you know, path ahead. So I've always said that the next year will probably be the one where I leave Japan and go somewhere else. But then again, that hasn't happened yet. So yeah,
I thought you loved Japan more than anything.
No, I've grown. I did when I came here, and then it's soured for me over the years. And the reason I'm here now is because the people I love most are here. I'm here to be with them. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the only thing I can say for sure is that I will be starting tomorrow playing online Tekken again with a fresh approach. I'm trying to be more like Sephi, trying to be more constructive. I'm going to...
it's very hard, though.
Yeah. I'm going to pick up a new main. I'm going to try and main Zafina in the new year, at least starting out. And I'm going to try and make a really good, complete guide for her. And then I'm just going to just do YouTube, play Tekken, and hang out and see what happens. Nothing big planned.
Yeah. Frame, we should have a disgruntled Gaijin bitch session sometime. You know, everyone, when you come to Japan, it's all sunshine and roses. But yeah. I don't want to open this can of worms now because we're at it all day. But Adrian, Aria, how about you guys? What you got planned for this? For this decade or this year?
Okay, I'll go. No, I do Tekken full time. I'm very lucky. I hope I can keep doing that. That would be awesome. So hopefully Tekken 7 keeps its momentum. It's still a pretty big fighting game in 2020. So I can keep talking about it and play it. And yeah, just keep having a lot of fun. Yeah, and now I just want to be able to keep doing what I'm doing. But it's a luxury. It's a blessing. Would be great. And of course, still be on the Blasted Salami podcast.
Well, there's actually there's other stuff I was thinking we could do together, like cough cough, that Devil Jin guide I've been working on for a while. I did want to talk to you about that actually. That if we could co-narrate or co-write that would be amazing. Like a proper guide, if we can make that together, that
would be such an honor.
Let's do it.
For real.
Let's do it. All right. So in case anyone's confused, my name is Arya, and this gentleman's name is also Arya. So Arya, what's your plan for the coming decade?
I'm trying to focus more on YouTube content, but in the direction how a beginner can improve in Tekken. Because I feel like many people who are starting Tekken having trouble to focus on one certain thing. And they don't know how to start to improve. Like they are thinking, I need, I don't know, maybe the most optimal combo to improve in the game, or play just rank. they're starting to play rank, even though it's actually not a good idea to start if you want to improve in this game. And I want to focus more on tutorial things. Like I already did like 2 videos how to practice certain things like throw breaking and punish. So really fundamental, like not something really specific, something really complex, in my opinion. But for people who are not used to that, it's really a big thing. And I try to bring them step by step. I try to bring them and practice them certain things in a really slow way, because I feel like you need time to learn these things like throw breaking and punishing, and you shouldn't do many things as at the beginning. Like you shouldn't focus on 40 characters matchups. You should focus on one character and play often against one character and maybe one person, like long hour sessions, and give these advices and videos. Like from my experience, what I've got from tournaments. Yes. Want to give more experience, like theory and practice things.
That's beautiful.
For sure.
I subbed to you on YouTube while you were talking just then. I'm going to be watching.
Thank
you. You know, having a roadmap from like a pro player would be so useful, because it's so hard to know where to start as a new player in Tekken. And all of us, we're at least a few years in, so we've kind of got our bearings. But for a new player to Tekken, it must be so disorientating. So I really hope your YouTube channel takes off. And again, I'm really looking forward to working with you on that Miguel tutorial. We've got in the works, and man, I really wish the best of things for your YouTube channel.
Thank you. I hope also for
I'll be
working with Miguel, or working for the Miguel tutorial that we've mentioned before.
Yeah.
This will be great.
It's a great point, by the way, Sefi, when you talk about like wanting to help the newer players, because we talked about the momentum in the scene and how you can build that top down by making sure that there are monetary rewards for the top level of players. But you can also have a bottom up perspective where if you cultivate a strong scene of many new players now, then they are the ones who are going to be the best players 5-10 years from now. You know, the people who really become obsessed with Tekken now. And that's why we talked about a golden age of Tekken. I think we might be in it, but I think maybe also because of the popularity of this game, the golden generation, you know, are being born right now. They're watching YouTube videos, they're watching these tournaments, and they're learning. And maybe 1 or 2 games from now,
exactly.
They're going to be the heroes, and you know, being part of that whole thing is going to be like really exciting. So it's so much fun, you know, making this kind of tutorial based content, because
you have the experience by doing the tutorials.
Sure.
But it really gives back. It really does. It's a great feeling.
I mean, Tekken is so deep and multifaceted that you need a teacher, someone to kind of cut the grass for you while you're going through it. I mean, I had a teacher when I was learning Tekken, the guys in the London scene. I can't think of any really strong player who didn't have a mentor at some point. It's so important. It's so important.
Yeah, you need a mentor. It's way easier to have a mentor.
Yeah. Unless you're like a Tekken savant or something. All right, guys. So thanks so much for your time. I'm really excited for 2020. You know, I've got big plans for this year and hopefully decade as well. Wishing you guys all the best. As ever, it's been a pleasure.
You too. You're the golden boy, Arya. You've got all, like, in terms of like tech and content creation, you have all the momentum. And I just realized now when we were that you have the best voice as well. So I think it would be really cool if you it's like where you get like scouted for like radio. It's a very good voice. I hope you get to do more commentary, because I would love to listen to it.
That would be epic. A Tekken World Tour finals. Sitting alone doing commentary.
I mean, I really enjoyed doing commentary actually. In Korea last year. I'll probably doing a bunch more of it this year, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. So that's. I mean, I've tried to really. 2019 was kind of a transitionary year for me, where I kind of moved from being a teacher to a content creator, and really all the work that we've done on TBS has kind of been leading up to this point. So we're really going for it this year. We're going all in, and
this is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I hope it works out. I'm half excited, a little bit nervous, but I just love making the shit. So it'll be fun. Regardless, it'll be fun.
Totally.
I feel like you've already gone through the difficult stages. I feel like it's the hardest when you're there, 500 subs, whatever, and you're trying to reach out, but there's this exponential, growth, and I feel like you've done the grunt work. I feel, and you're so on point, with the productions and how you organize things. And you're very methodical. So,
and bringing all the rest of us together as well.
True.
That's a big thing.
It's always a pleasure. I mean, it's always good to bring communities together. I mean, not just in Tekken. I mean, this year I really want to try and bring communities from not just different fighting games, but hopefully in the future different genres as well. Because Lord knows the fighting games are not appreciated enough. I mean,
are there any big game releases you guys are looking forward to, by the way?
A few. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games. I can't wait for the remake. I mean, Sephi Black. I mean, his name is from. I'll let you explain.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sephiroth, is it?
Yeah. It's from Sephiroth.
Ah,
but it's that in Germany I call it Rot, and Rot is the German word for red. And instead of red, I changed the red to my favorite color, which was black, and this is Sephi Black.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a really old name. I did it with 14 years of.
Yeah. Do you play anything else than Tekken, Adrian, at all?
No, I only play Tekken. I'm not really a gamer. I'm a Tekken player. But I also love Final Fantasy VII. I consider it one of the best games ever made, especially the soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu. It's like, I don't feel anything even comes close when it comes to video game music. But I sure hope it's good. That would be great. But I feel like I can only be disappointed because that magic, it only happens once. You simply cannot recreate that, no matter how well you do it. Because I guess it was something that at that young age, it was just magic. But today, I don't know. Yeah. It's not going to be as special because we've seen it copied so many times.
Sure. Did you play Final Fantasy VII?
I played when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're all jaded now because
it came in '97. I was 12.
Yeah. Ditto. It was lightning in a bottle at the time, and for me and like a lot of people, it was their first JRPG. So it was such a special experience.
Yeah, and no game was even close. When you saw the story and the cutscenes, the CG, it's like no game was even close to telling a story like that. Or I even checked like a few weeks ago specific cinematic sequences, like when the Junon, I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but the Junon cannon, in the shore, when it fires at weapon, like diamond weapon, and it charges up the Mako energy, like, or wait, no, is it Midgar? I don't remember, but it's so well directed, there's the CG sequences, or when weapon attack Junon, they come out of the water and the music and everything. It holds up today. Sure, the graphics are dated, but they really knew what they were doing in terms of choreographing action scenes and stuff.
It was so clear how inspired they were. Just because it must have been so exciting to be a developer at that time to see 3D graphics really becoming something in the industry, and you can see that momentum pushing the game forward. When you play it, you really feel it, and I think that's one of the reasons why it holds up. Obviously, I'm blinded by nostalgia, but it's a special game for me, as is for a lot of people. I'm also excited for Resident Evil 3. I thought the Resident Evil 2 remake was fantastic, so I can't wait for that. Again, another remake, all just remakes, but whatever, I'm happy. I thought Last of Us 1 was excellent, so I'm looking forward to Last of Us 2. And what else? Yeah, I mean, that's in the immediate future. Those are the games I want to play. I'll probably stream them as well.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, It's 1 a.m. here in Japan, and I guess I gotta hit the hay soon. And Adrian's wife's about to break down the door.
Yeah. But a real pleasure as always. It's a pure honor to be able to sit here with you gentlemen, always so kind to me and such interesting opinions. And Sefi, again, I'm a huge fan. So nice to get to talk a little bit here. And I hope you also looking forward to the YouTube content, but I sure hope you go to tournaments also so we can all cheer for you in the EU.
Thank you very much. I'm also a big fan of you. This was really cool to have you also here in the podcast.
You're very kind. Thank you.
See you next time, guys.
Pleasure's all mine, guys. Yeah. Thank you very much, and have a happy New Year. Take care. All.
Happy New Year.
You too, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.